If you work in sales or you're a founder of a company and you're looking for ways in which you can reach more customers using automations, AI tools, this video is for you because I'm going to show you how to build a fully AI-powered sales funnel using a tool called Apollo. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to do it yourself and set it up. I honestly think that Apollo is such a great tool for reach out, and I want to walk you through how to set it up properly. Let's go. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to assume that I work for a company called Wellzone Corporate Wellness. What we sell are these workplace well-being programs like yoga, mental health workshops, fitness challenges, this sort of thing. Target for this company are HR personnel, people and culture managers, and we're targeting mid-size tech or creative companies who are about 50 to 500 employees. First of all, you need to look for these ideal customers who could buy your solution. So that's what we're gonna do now. Apollo has lots of filters, and I think a lot of the data is from LinkedIn. We'll start with a job title. Let's say that the person is called HR manager, people manager. What is really nice about it is that you can include people with similar titles, and you can also exclude titles if you don't want some of them. Now, the management level that we need, these are not going to be founders, so it's going to be senior, probably manager, potentially head of HR, probably not VP. So the departments and job functions, we are looking for human resources, so we can click that one off. This is quite a nice one. I haven't tested it yet, but you can enter people that are your ideal customer profile, and Apollo will find those for you. What we're going to do, we'll assume that we are in United States. You can put a state, country, or zip code if you need to kind of narrow it down further. Now, employees, so we did say that we want the companies to be between 50 to 500. So let's check these out. So for the industry, we're going to have information technology and services, computer software, and we'll put perhaps marketing agencies, designer studios. So marketing and advertising, and let's see whether it has design, graphic design. Okay, there are many further filters, so if you want to narrow down that list, then you can absolutely do it. Now, the important one is the email status, so we'll put the verified, because the way that Apollo works is that for every list that you create and contact that you kind of put into the list, it takes away the credits that you have. And I think when you're setting it up yourself as well, it is useful to just have, for example, these 25 people instead of all of them, because you can test things. We are going to mark these 25 people from the first page, and we're going to add them to the list. So let's create a new list, and we'll put Wellzone HR. Right, so it added the prospects to the list. There are other functions, like you could either export this list and do other things with it. You can also import people and then do that data enrichment piece if you already have, for example, an email database. But we're going to assume that we are using Apollo to source and potential leads. So we're going to go into the sequences. So the first sequence, we're going to make it from scratch, this one. We'll call it Wellness Test 1. So the first step is that we need to add the contacts. So I've already done that, but you would click to add the contacts. You select the list and then you just add the 25 contacts. So the first step that we're going to do is we're going to create an automatic email. So let's say the email subject is, how is your team's energy this quarter? And this is going to be the email body, which I created with the help of ChatGPT. So it will say, hi, first name, and what is nice about it, you can customize it. So if it would be David, it would put his name in there. I hope your week's off to a good start. This is not going to be the best email, but let's say that At Wellzone, we run workplace well-being programs. And let's say that we are going to ask to schedule a 20-minute call. This is a standard way of creating this email. What I think the more interesting one is we can create it from a prompt. This is a more interesting thing, because what you can basically do is customize the message to each person that you're sending. And this prompt informs the model about the company itself, what is the task. So they want to open with a personalized observation based on the person's company role or recent initiative, and acknowledge the challenge of burnout, and then introduce Wellzone. We'll specify the CTA 20-minute Zoom call. So that's going to be our CTA, and it just explains the output and the example of the tone. Let's see how it does. So it says, I noticed the company name recently launched an employee engagement initiative, and I'm curious how you're measuring its real impact. This is, I think, really interesting because it basically makes that message really tailored, but you're able to send that tailored message to hundreds of people. That is just amazing. Now, another useful feature is the fact that you can actually have a couple of tests with the email to check which one performs the best. And I think I would highly encourage you to do this one. I can't show you because you do need to have a higher plan for this. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to create another email that will go out, let's say, in 3 days, following up on that initial email. So the next one will make an email the same for everyone. So it will be hello, whatever the prospect's first name is, and just kind of following up on the previous message. And now we're going to ask for the meeting again. So this next step I think is very interesting. The way that Apollo works is that LinkedIn connection request is something that happens automatically. It basically works, overlays onto the LinkedIn. And we have two options. Either we say what kind of message it's going to be, or it can create a personalized message by itself. Let's say that we want to have a bit more control over this. So the setup that we've created is that it creates first email, first contact with the prospect, then a follow-up email, then it sends a LinkedIn connection request and LinkedIn message. So let's do a test, send me a test email, and let's see how it looks like. Hi Victoria, I noticed this is the company name, let's say PwC recently launched an employee wellness initiative, and I'm curious how it's resonating with your team. So this is the one with the prompt, so it would research the prospect. This looks totally all right. This is the second test email, so this one looks totally all right. Obviously, you would work on the actual input that is in here. We're not able to do this one to test it. You just need to be sure that you've done this well. So if we're happy with this, then you would just click activate, and the way that you're going to see it is in your sent. Obviously you will have the data on top here, the statistics about how many scheduled, how many were open, how many people replied. But in your sent emails, you will have these emails. Now, Apollo does have a lot of other tools that are really interesting. If you have a sales team, you can do a voice dialer. So it records and transcribes all calls, and it syncs them up with CRM. You can also have a record of all of the meetings that you've done. I think it's just about testing. Like I said, I would first test with just a couple of people to see how it works, and then go on to other. Now I want to just show you how Apollo looks like when it comes to LinkedIn. You do have to, I believe, have the extension. And besides the fact that it can send requests automatically as well as the messages, what you can also do whenever you go on someone's profile, you get this information. So you can save them as a contact, or you can add them. So if I wanted to add them to my Wellzone HR list, I can just do that. I can also add them to the sequence that I've created. You can also see immediately their email. You can check for the phone numbers. So as you're browsing, you have an opportunity to have that extra information. I hope this video was useful. I really wanted to show you the basic setup step by step. I think this is a really good starting point to have that first sequence done and see how the tool actually works. For people who are going to say, oh, you're basically sending thousands of messages without any purpose, spamming people with AI. Look, these tools are what your competitors are using right now. So if you're not using them and you're going one by one, sending out emails that are not even personalized, to be able to send out, I don't know, 2,000 of emails like this, it would take you so much time. So I think it's really important to know how these tools work. If you have any questions, do let me know, and I hope to see you in the next video.